Bam. Act like he's a hog. Got a decent one. I've got some most decent fish. I have caught a few small fish today that I say small. I'm gonna say 9 inches to 8.5 to 9 inches, but most of them I've caught today have been 10 and better. All right, this is a bait that I'm not used to using much. So that's a nice fish. Look how fat that pig is. All right. Yeah, I got a purple head guy. This has a spoon on it. Okay, willow leaf. I've got him with willow leaf from Colorado. The young man that I buy these jigs from, the jigs I sell on my site, sent me these to test for them, see if I like them. I usually don't fish something like that because y'all know I'm usually fishing boathouses, and you can't skip that under a boathouse. So it's an open water, and this is the only time I fish open water. Somebody asked me the other day that knew I had them. They said, I haven't seen you fish those, I reckon what's the proper name for this, but a spin jig, I reckon you call it, with a blade on it. I said, because I've been fishing boathouses and brush piles, I lose enough jigs and brush piles as it is. These are not cheap when you get put a spoon on and go through all that. So, but they're good open water if y'all troll. So I don't troll. No offense to anybody that trolls, I just don't enjoy that. I was talking to a friend the other day, and actually it was a woman I was working for, and she said she liked to troll. Excuse me, I said that wrong. She said her husband liked to troll, and she said, I don't. I get bored to death. She said, I like to cast and reel. She said, I hate it when he wants to go out there and just troll. I said, well, I understand it. I'm the same way. I want to hold the rod in my hand. She said, yeah, I want to feel that fish hit when the rod's in my hand. I said, that's me. I want to have the rod in my hand when he bites. Now you can hold your rod in hand, do what they call one pole and troll. I could probably do some of that, but anyway, I'm just throwing these fish that's on the bottom and trying to reel this past them. One thing I can tell you already, because I don't use much stuff like this. I used to use beetle spins in farm ponds and fishing riprap in the spring when crappie are shallow spawning. I use beetle spins a lot. I've really never used these for crappie, but I've used them for bass. I got bigger ones that I've used for bass with a swim bait or something. But what I can tell you right now is when you reel it, it wants to pick up. All right, if you reel it slow to keep a jig level in the water, I can tell you from watching live scope, it picks up a lot. You got to reel stop to keep it down there. So if you was trolling, if you didn't watch, it'd come way up in the water column. You probably need to use a 1/16 or add a weight to your line or something like that if you was control it. Because if that blade's spinning, it wants to pick it up. All right, guys, see what we got here. I'm catching a little bit of everything. I'm catching white perch. I'm catching bass. Every once in a while I get an accident and catch a crappie. It's a white perch. The white perch have pulled up on this flat. I've been here a couple hours. I was just catching mostly crappie. But the white perch have pulled up here and the bass have pulled up here. I didn't see any bass up here this morning. All right, guys, next cast after the white perch. I think I got a crappie this time. Like I say, a little bit of everything's running around here because I went back to the point where I started this morning. Yeah. I left here and went to another spot and finished a different video I was making. I'm on my 3rd video today. And I wanted to make a video using this shaky head or a spinner head. I really don't know the correct name for it. This is called, we always call them a spin jig, but it's a jig with a spinner on it, belly spin on it. Bam. What I'm doing, guys, is I'm throwing it out there past the crappie, reeling it back, and I'm reeling it slow. I'm stopping sometimes and just bouncing it a couple times, and I reel a little bit. The one thing about that spoon being on there, it moves really easy. You've done a good job with these, making these. The spoon turns real easy. I got a fluke on here, Blue Boy fluke. That's what I'm using for the bait. And I've tried different baits. I started off with the swim bait and it worked okay. I thought, let's try something else. And cold as the water is, I think the swim bait might have been a little too much action for him. That's a good 11-inch fish. But I figured this fluke was long and skinny. That would be a good match for it, because it gives you a little tail action. But every time that thing moves in the water, and even if you just bounce it up and down, this thing spins on the fall. So gives it a little different action, even if you're jigging it. And I'm doing some of that too. I'm reeling, and when I get to the fish, I'm stopping and letting it fall down in them. And school's moving toward me some, so let's see if we can get it drop down in them here one time. I don't know. I'm gonna tell you what, you got to hit them in the head. They're not moving far for a bait. All right, it's going to get pretty close to them here. Now, when I think I don't see my bait, I'm gonna pop it a couple times. Oops, I felt one bumped already. I'm just trying to watch the fish action. If I can see the fish moving, I know my bait's there, and I know they're paying attention to it. So when I try to see on the depth finder, I don't have to see my bait. I just want to see if they're reacting to it. There you go. If they're reacting to it, I know if I see them shuffling, if I see one raise up or move left or right, I know the bait's there. They're paying attention to something, and that's what I do a lot of times. I see my bait fall, so I knew it was in close to them. And after that, I lost it. With the boat moving some with the wind's blowing just a little bit now. It has calmed down some. It was bad a while ago. It's hard to keep that bait. And that's the smallest one I've caught for a while. You'll see that purple shining in there? All right, guys, I'm back down there with them again. Let's see if I can do another live action. I'm using this little, a lot of people ask this. This is a 7-foot Denelli light action rod. The reel is just a Fluger President reel. They're $50, $60. You can't beat them for it. Size 1,000. You don't want a big reel because you don't know. I don't want the weight. A lot of people use 2,000s. That's fine. I use the smallest thing I can. I don't want a 500. 500 is too small. And the 1,000 is about the right size for crappie fishing, I think, for casting and reeling. I seen my bait just now. All right. I seen one of them move and go after it, and he didn't hit it. He went back down. I let it drop a little bit, and this one hit it. See, a lot of times the fish will tell me where it's at. He's fighting like he's a big one. Oh, he's nice. They fight hard in this colder water, guys. The water's 50. It was 50 this morning. I think the sun's done warmed it up some now. It's 51 now. But it's getting down to about 30. It's supposed to be 30 again tonight. That's what's knocking it back down at night. Oh, he's about 10. He's about 9 7/8. We won't say he's 10. He's pushing it. I don't have my board with me, but he would be right at 10. That's a pretty fish. All right, so that's the blue boy. The blue boy is working good. Y'all want to try another color? I'll switch it and see if we can't catch another one. Bam. Guys, the line I'm using is Cast King. Jesse sent it to me. One of the subs on the site. Try it. It's black line. I re-spooled with it the other day. I've been keeping it on this reel, and it's worked fine. I've thought, wow, I ain't sure about that black line. So he sent me some clear line. So I've used both of them. It's nice line. I see nothing wrong with it. It casts good and it handles good. I use a lot of variety of line anyway, but Dave sent me Maxima. That's a nice fish, and I've been using that on one of the reels. It's fine too. All right, what y'all think? Yeah, y'all going like, where'd you get that from? That's a good 11-inch fish. This is ice with a red tail. Bam. It's been a while, guys. I'm gonna tell you. It's been a good 15, 20 minutes. I've thrown out a bunch of them. They still want, they get right now this time of day, they're sucking up the heat. And they're really not interested in biting. They're just sitting someplace. I done ran out of batteries today. So I got a power pack plugged into the camera. So that means I have no microphone. So it's gonna sound a little different. But bam, there you go. Look, leaf and all. Can you catch a fish and a leaf at the same time? He's about at 11 inches. This is the shiny color. It was the first ones I shot. Shiny on top, blue on bottom. Somebody recommended that I do that and try it, so I did. I shot them both ways, shiny on top, shiny on bottom, and I decided to go with the shiny on the bottom because I fished them, and I didn't see any difference in them. I caught just as many fish on the blue on top as I did blue on bottom. So, and I figured y'all would come closer to buying them, right, with the blue, with the shiny on the bottom. So that's what I done. All right, guys, I'm going to end this thing. This has a willow leaf on, like I said. just playing around with it. I could put them on the site if y'all are interested. Y'all make a comment, but it's got to be more than one person interested. I say that sometimes on certain things, and one person will say, yeah, I'll take some of them, and that's it. Well, I can't stock them unless I think there's quite a few people interested. Appreciate y'all guys, Fishing Lake Country. I'm out of batteries. I plugged into the jump drive just so I could finish this video. That tells you how tough it's been at times today, because I've been out here for about 6 hours, 5 hours, I think. And this is my third video. And I usually can make a video per battery. But this last little bit, I just been running around in circles, looking with the live scope, looking for fish. And like I said, just run ahead looking like this. And there's some right there. Appreciate y'all guys. See you next time. Fishing Lake Country.